Hey everybody, it's your girl Angie. Welcome back to Kiss My Cheeks TV. I apologize. There's no glam today. I woke up this morning and I start plucking at my crochets. As you can see, some of my real hair is peeking through. I start pulling some of the crochet. I start pulling some of them out, and I said, let me hurry up and make this big brother video before I pull all these crochets out and my hair look a complete mess. It's a mess. Like, my real hair is poking through. Anyway, I promise the next review I'll have my glam back. I just was like, I'm not putting on makeup and pulling all my crochets out. That's team too much. And Big Brother last night wasn't on too much of anything. I wrote down a couple of notes. I feel like this video, I want to talk about my power rankings. I changed the order a little bit after watching week 1. I want to talk about some of the new alliances that we got to see set up. What was this, last night, Thursday night? And I want to talk about who I think the nominations are going to be. Pretty much the episode was all filler. The first 30 minutes, we could have fast forward because we knew from the live feeds, bye Keisha, girl, bye. Keisha was gone. Keisha didn't campaign. She didn't really do much of nothing. Now, I saw on Twitter, I guess somebody released a tweet where she was savage. She was like, because last night she was like, good luck to some of y'all. I like that. I feel like if you know you leaving the house, why not go out without a bang? She should have, whatever she said in Twitter or her friend said in Twitter is what she should have said in the house. Like, some of y'all men, y'all balls ain't dropped. Y'all just want to get me out. And, you know, all that good stuff she wrote on Twitter. She should have just said, you was leaving anyway. Last night, I also want to give a shout out to the Black Girl Magic Bay and Day. That neon green dress was everything. It reminded me of my nails. I was like, yes, Bailey, that dress is bad. And then here come around the corner is Da'Vonne in neon orange. And I said, yes, you better wear that neon. They look good. And then I'm happy. Da'Vonne is also using her platform talking about justice for Breonna Taylor. Yes, ma'am. It's been too long and she deserves some kind of justice. Like, my edges, y'all. Y'all forgive me, right? Y'all do understand, like, half of my hair, this is my real hair, half of my hair is out of the crochets. That's why I look, y'all forgive me. But anyway, let's move on. So Keisha is gone. It's time for the HOH competition. I actually like the HOH competition. I don't know who that was playing all those characters, but it was funny to me. Like, I was cracking up. It reminded me of a TikTok video. And it was a family Zoom call, and you got to guess, you know, answer questions, true or false, and, you know, the clicking. When they click the thing, whoever get the most right win. Anyway, Memphis wins HOH. I like those kind of HOH competitions because I could play along, and I would have been out the first round too. Like, the first question was like, who was the first one who spoke? Who box was on the left? Who box was on the right? And I was like, oh my God, I watched it just like they watched it, and I don't know. I have no clue. Like, one of them was, which hand was he in when he was dancing around? Because Da'Vonne was dancing, and I was like, girl, I didn't even recall him dancing. So I'm like, I would have definitely lost that HOH competition if I was in the house. But Memphis won. To me, Memphis winning is like Cody winning. That is the first new alliance I'm going to talk about, which I'm going to talk about it. The Commission, which is the final two of Cody and Memphis. And remember, Cody already has a final two with Tyler. I don't think they have a name. But then they have the Root, which is the Jersey Boys, which is Cody and Enzo. And you thought Tyler was stacked. Cody is pretty stacked too. That's one thing about being the first HOH. People be like, I don't want the blood on my hands. I'm like, no. The first HOH, always, because that HOH usually lasts longer than a week. They always get the most information. People always gravitate to that first HOH. They want to set up a power alliance with that first HOH, and they usually are stacked to make it at least to jury. At least. Because no one feels bad like, oh, you got rid of my showmance week one. Like, no one, the first week is usually an easy week. Get a low threat person out of the house and let's move on. So to me, I would always gun to be that first HOH so I could set myself up. Because people are going to come upstairs and talk to you. You want to work together? You want to work together? So Cody is stacked. Cody is stacked. I don't like the commission though. But based on the confessionals, and this could just be editing, it looks like Cody values the commission over the root. Because in every confessional, he's like, the commission this, the commission that. And I'm like, what happened to Enzo? I don't know if these confessionals were taped after Memphis won his HOH. I feel like Memphis wanted to set up a power six. He quickly threw Keisha under the bus. He was like, forget Keisha, let's vote her out. I want to work with you 5 people. Let's not all get together. Let's play telephone and talk to each other individually instead of ever meeting together all as a 6. I don't know if they have a name, but I call them the Telephone Alliance since they want to play telephone with their strategy. I think that's the worst idea in the world because it only takes one person to get that message wrong and now you got confusion within the alliance. It consists of Memphis, Cody, Tyler, Christmas, Danny, Franz. If you ask me, this seems like a birdie from production who's telephoning to these people to help them get to jury. They all seem like production favorites, people who they want to see go far in the game, and I don't like it. None of these people are my favorites. So, I mean, outside of Danny, like, I came in, and Cody, I came in liking Danny and Cody. Danny is turning me off. It's like her attitude, like she's doing on the live feeds, she's doing what I was scared Bailey would do, which is not being able to control her facial expressions, having an attitude, a stank attitude. And she's turning me off this season so far on the live feeds because if you look at her on the casual television show, you wouldn't know Danny was there. Anyway, I already said Cody is set. We also got to see another alliance formed. I called them Root Magic. I don't know if that's their name. It's probably not because that would expose the final 2s of the other, but I'm sure it's already implied. But it's Cody, Enzo, Bailey, and Davon. They said they're going to have a final 4. This is going to get dangerous for Cody because he's in more authentic alliances than Tyler. Like, Tyler just has everyone approaching him. I want to work with you. I want to work with you. He does have a couple of final 2s, but I feel like it'd be harder to expose Tyler than to expose Cody because Cody is eventually going to have to choose. At some point, it's going to be the commission or the root. At some point, it's going to be the telephone group or your Root Magic because Enzo isn't in the telephone group. And at some point, Cody, you're sooner than later, you're going to have to choose which group because you can't protect everybody in the house. I think Cody is set, but I think his setness in the house is more dangerous. And that worries me. Now, what really worries me is who is Memphis, of all people, going to nominate? And I'm telling you, deep down in my soul, I feel like it's going to be Bay and Day. It's going to be Black Girl Magic on that block. Because Memphis likes Kaser and Janelle. He doesn't want to put old school up. I don't understand why he's working with the younger people and not with the old school people, because even in your own alliance that you created, the telephone group, you're at the bottom of that. Like, no one in the telephone group is going to stick their neck out for you over like Danny and Nicole, Tyler Christmas. Cody already got something with, you know, Enzo, Davon. Like, you're at the bottom of what you created. So I would have threw in Janelle and Kaser and maybe Kevin and tried to go work with Bay and Day, or at least Ian. Like, I feel like you set yourself up maybe to make it to jury, but you didn't set yourself up to win, because I believe if Cody really had to show his hand, I feel like Cody would go with Enzo over Memphis. We'll see how it play out. They want to target Ian. I think Ian might be a backdoor this week, but I don't think they want to put Ian on the block because, one, the safety suite is still in question, and I need Bailey and Davon to play. Like, girls, recognize, go ahead and play. It's better to waste it than to be on the block like Keisha and Kevin. So at one point I heard they wanted to put Ian on the block and use Bailey as a pawn. And then I heard now, the last time I checked Twitter, that it's going to be Kevin and David on the block. Kevin, David, and Nicole are Floater City. They're Float City this season. They're always going to be interchangeable on the block for the rest of this season to get out their true target. Because I feel like even if the noms are Kevin and David, ain't neither one of them going home. Neither one of them are going home unless Ian wins this POV. And I can guarantee you for the rest of the season, that's what we're going to see until they're ready to get, even when they're ready to get Janelle and Kaser off, it's going to be Kevin, David, Nicole. They're going to live on the block, and it's going to be Backdoor City. I can already see how this season is going to go. So let's just go ahead and jump into it. If by chance Ian wins safety, and like say he saves Nicole A, and you're left with Kevin and David, I'd be forgetting about, like, David is a letdown. But anyway, he can go, but we're going to get to that. Let's say Ian and Nicole A are safe for whatever reason. Bailey or Davon are going home this week, and it probably will be Day. I think they will get rid of Davon before Bailey. I'm going to be sad to see. It's going to be sad to see. This is going to be a very interesting week. This week's, the only reason this week is going to be more interesting to me is because this safety suite means everything to me. His alliance needs to play so he can really, if he really wants to get Ian out, he needs as many people to play in this to stop Ian or Nicole from winning. Bailey and Day, y'all need to play and get off your asses. And then POV is going to be very interesting this week. Let's move on to my power rankings, because I looked at my original list and then I wrote a new list because I was like, honey, what you got going on is not going to work. So I just automatically put Keisha at 16 because she was the first boot, so I cheated. She gone. I still think Kevin is going to be at 15. Let's not say this in any order. I'm just going to say the first 5 people, because usually the first 5 people don't make it to jury. The first 5 people who I think will not make jury is, of course, Keisha. Kevin going to be a pawn and end up out. Ian, they're going to get Ian out before jury. If they don't, it's going to be smooth sailings, I think, for him. David is also going to be a pawn or just a disappointment, and he's not going to make jury. And then they're going to take their shot at Janelle sometime before she gains momentum in the game, and I don't think Janelle will make jury. One person who also might not make jury, maybe Kaser, depending on they usually let floaters float on. So Kevin or David may be interchanged with Kaser, but for the most part, I think one of the two between Janelle and Kaser will make it to jury. And I feel like they're going to shoot for Janelle first. The people who I think are going to be mid-tier competitors, they'll make jury, but I don't think they're going to make it close to winning. Memphis, Nicole A, Kaser, Nicole F, Davon, and Christmas. That's self-explanatory. Let's go ahead to my top 5. This is my fantasy team. Let me tell you my original fantasy team. I had Cody, Kevin. Ooh, Kevin, what was I thinking? Enzo, Davon, and Danny. Now, I'll remind you, Kevin was someone who I said in my very first Big Brother video about the cast. I don't recall his season. I went back to watch some of his season, and I was really not too entertained. But anyway, I just don't remember Kevin, so I was excited. He was someone I was excited to see play like Kaser. But Kevin's low self-esteem in the house of calling everybody an icon, and he's just little old Kevin, and he can't believe he, like, all of that low self-esteem, I don't feel like I deserve to be here, is a turnoff for me. So he cannot be on my fantasy team acting like that. So my new fantasy team, I have Bailey. I feel like Bailey is connected with enough people like Bailey to where she can maneuver in this game and make it to a top 5 type of situation where Bailey could honestly, if Bailey is the one who can have the balls to cut off Tyler, maybe get Tyler out the house, and maybe do something to get Cody out the house, Bailey can win the game. But if Bailey just sits back and lets stuff happen and then get all upset that her alliance put her on the block, then no ma'am, you can go ahead and go to the jury, girl. Tyler is set up to win the game. He has a good foothold in there. Everyone likes him. I don't know if everyone is going to be willing to risk their game for Tyler like they did that previous season. We're like, oh no, Tyler can't get on the block. No, don't you dare put, like, I don't think people will have a problem putting Tyler on the block, but he might be able to rally votes this season. Enzo, I just like Enzo, and I feel like a part of me, and a lot of this could be wishful thinking, a lot of me wants Enzo and Cody to last more than Enzo and Memphis. And I should like Memphis because I live in Memphis. Hey, it's the same name. But anyway, I still have Danny on my fantasy team. Even though I don't like her attitude, Danny is the one who will cut the head off of Cody, who will cut the head off of Tyler. She will slice and dice her alliance to get to where she needs to be. And Danny is someone who can maneuver with, okay, I'm with the telephone group, but okay, it's time to cut the telephone group. Let me go over here and get these floaters together. Like, Danny is someone who can pull a David, I don't know, she don't really like Nicole A. But I think Danny could come over to Davon and Bailey and maybe use, like, I can see Danny being able to go through different alliances to cut off key people. So I think I'm still in, I mean, I like you, Danny girl. Let's see what you're going to do. And then the person who I think is set up the best is Cody. And I think right now, he could win the game. Now, we still got a lot of Big Brother left to go. So, we shall see. We shall see. And I'm so excited to see. I'm hoping that this week will be more entertaining because last week was hard. Because I promise you, once I pull out my phone and I start playing spades while the TV show is on and I'm playing spades on my phone, the episode is a wrap. I need some more, like, even live feeds have not been entertaining. I'm ready to have more strategy talk. I need these people to open their eyes because it seems like a lot of my faves, like Day, Bay, Nicole A, and all of their reads on the house is all wrong. It's all wrong. Okay, that's all I have to give. Get in the comments. Let me know what you thought about last night's episode. Again, I'm looking at myself in the camera and I'm just like, girl, you look a mess. I'm getting ready to go finish doing my work for the day and finish pulling these crochets out. And you will see you'll see the glam again next review. All right, talk to y'all later. Like, comment, share. Bye.